Hi everyone, Shabbat Shalom. I'm very happy to be here with you today. It's afternoon here, the sun is shining. We started with a rainy morning. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we were woken up by alert, by alarm, that we have to go and hide and to protect ourselves into the bunker. Hello, Zeno, Shabbat Shalom. And today, this is the 8th, hello Fernando, Shabbat Shalom. Today is Shabbat, and this is the eighth day since the operation began on Iran. And yes, the ticking bomb, the Iranian ticking bomb. So today is the 8th day of the operation. And there are less alarms, but still the tension is felt all around. We are withdrawn again to the Corona times. Today we were lucky in the morning because we could take a walk around the house, few meters, to feel the air around us. It is almost 8 days that we don't leave the house, even for fresh air, because it is very, very dangerous to be outside. The Iranian starting shooting missiles with splitting heads, meaning not enough that there's a missile, but it has splitting heads and it multiple the damage. Yes. So we are very, very cautious in our actions. Everything is very calculated to the bare bone. And we are listening to the air around us, to the streaming alerts, which are coming all the time. And we are also listening to the clearance, which is coming after there is a reconfirmation of the event is over. And then we are allowed to leave the secured room. We are very close to the Lebanese border, from which Hezbollah took the liberty to shoot its rockets on us, and Israel now is taking care of the Hezbollah, and Israel gave a warning to the residents and to civilians of Lebanon, South Lebanon and Beirut to leave, to evacuate, because Israel will not tolerate any terrorist activity against Israel. Lebanon let for decades, lent its harbor, its land to be Iranian proxy. And Hezbollah used to dwell in the houses of the people in South Lebanon, and simple residents used to take over of the simple life and to shoot rockets at Israeli civilians. And Israel is not that big, so if people are shooting from south of Lebanon, it crosses the bay, the north of Israel, Tel Aviv, and even south. So basically, from Lebanon, they can control all over Israel with stupid missiles. So Israel is actively working against the Hezbollah in Lebanon, and already close to 500,000 residents left Lebanon because Israel is flattening the area, not letting any kind of threat, never again, on the civilians or the residents of Israel. A part of it, there's a lot going on here these days. Israel is active in Iran, non-stop air raids, shoulder to shoulder with the American, with the US Army. And they're making sure today they bombed again Iran and the University of the regime in Tehran, to make sure that nothing will come from there again. So far, Iran does not have a navy. It was bombed. It's at the bottom of the ocean. The air control is neutralized. The communication is neutralized. But they build a system which is split, with a split head. Usually, in all normal country, there is a skeleton of command, of leadership, But what they did with this Iranian regime, they built split systems that in a way you can never take them down because there is no center or skeleton to the system. So far, residents, or let's say exile Iranians, are very happy all over the world of what is happening, because they were forced to leave the country and to live abroad all over the place, in Europe, in America, all over the place. And they are very happy for this change. Of course, no one can guarantee what is going to happen from moment to moment, but there is a sense of breaking the threat of the Iranian vicious regime, because it's not just threatening Israel and 500 million. This is what they are threatening at the moment. Yes, they are threatening at the moment. They are shooting at 500 million people all over the area. They even shoot at Azerbaijan, their neighbor, friend. They shoot at Turkey. They shoot at Cyprus. 12 states, 12 countries. You can open the map and follow. But this is not the end of it, because they have also proxies and arms all over the world, which are poisoning everything. They send their arms to universities all over the world. They are financing universities all over the world, especially in the liberal Western world. And while financing them and sending them donation, they're basically cutting the head of the university, and those university became radio stations for communist and terrorist propaganda. And this is what we have seen since 7th of October, because there was unexpected attack, not just that Israel was attacked by Hamas, by Gaza, by Iran, by Lebanon, everything. It was already orchestrated, because all the universities in the world just were chanting death to Israel, death to the West. So everything was conducted and controlled and financed by Iran and its proxies and its expense ability to pour money. But luckily, there is an end to everything. And those days, though we are sitting in shelters, we are sitting in bunkers all over Israel. We are lucky because Israel, during the years of its existence as a state, Israel built shelters from the beginning because Israel was attacked. So we are the lucky ones who have bunkers, but other neighboring countries like Jordan, like Turkey, Azerbaijan, and so Emirates, they don't have bunkers, and their residents are suffering from constant bombardments. So we are lucky here to sit in bunkers and in protected area, because the public in Israel is very elastic. What do I mean by elastic? People here are very flexible, and they have a sense of life and death. And this sense of life and death is very, very much tuned and refined to the moment. So we are lucky because we are listening to what is happening, and life is the most dear thing which is happening here, and there's a protection of life. This is the first aim, to protect life. But those evils regime, their time is gone. Now, we see when we read the Megillat Esther, the scroll of Esther, we see that the tree, yes, Pikuach Nefesh, yes, we see that Haman, that this is a representer of the tree of knowledge. He prepared a tree of 50 cubits to hang Mordechai on it. Mordechai, we say in Hebrew, in English, Martin, it is divided into two words, Mar Dachia, Mar, more, mirt. This is like perfume, and Dachia is like pure mirt, or pure scent. Yes, pure scent. This is what it means, very pure and refined scent, like the scent of the Garden of Eden. So Haman was preparing to hang Mordechai on this tree of 50 cubits, but everything was opposite, and Haman himself was hanged on the same tree. what the 50 qubits are symbolizing. 50, as we have mentioned before, is the Jubilee. So in the Jubilee, in the 50 years, so in the 50 counting, everything, or the world as we know it, comes to an end. Yes, the tree of knowledge, Haman, Hamin Ha'etz, is that from the tree that I ordered you not to eat? You have eaten, and you became very, let's say, big head, and you think that you know everything and you control everything. Those days are over. So Haman was hanged on the same tree that he prepared for Mordechai. And this is what is happening these days, and it's all over the place. You can see all over the media. Iran is being hanged on the tree that she was trying to portray to everyone. Also, universities abroad, they have no cause to exist anymore because there's a free education now. People can consult an AI. They don't need to go and pay so much money for prestige university to take loans to finance studies that they don't have ability to finance when they are young. They have to take loans. And also they're being bullshit during the time that they're taking courses in the university. They learn something that never give them or guarantee them any occupation in the future. So those universities, those very, very prestigious universities that used to promise people not just first degree or second degree, but also open future in politics, in power, they don't influence anymore. They are gone. And with the far learning or online learning, there is no need to occupy, to pay for buildings anymore. And with the help of AI, there's a free education for all, and people do not need to slave anymore to pay for education. So now, if someone wants to learn, there is ability more than any period in the world to learn. Everything is online, everything is free. There is a help of an AI, and you can talk to expert. And there are many, many people in their fields which are expert, and they give free consultation or free conversation. So there is in the what I was trying to say, that all this establishment as we know it, those great universities that in the 20th century, their function was to bring the next feed of governors, of judges, of lawyers, of policy leaders. This concept is gone. The universities are not supplying anymore the big heads, the future heads, the leadership, and they don't have any cause to exist. And this is a great liberty. A great liberty. Yes, brainwash. There was I heard from an American, now he's in office, in America, he is in office, and he was paying, in his years of study, $100,000 for his education. And he could not pay it as a student, so he had to take loans, and he had to pay the loans, yes, in a range of 15 years. 15 years it took him to pay a bill of $100,000 for his education to learn in prestige university. This is just crazy. It is more than mortgage. It should not be like this, because education should give people a bridge to mobility, to social mobility, not to shackle them more and more with debts and loans I take until they don't see clear horizon anymore. So we are living in a way in a brilliant, beautiful times, if we just want to see it. A war is not a bad thing. People in Europe, all Western Europe, went to sleep in Sleeping Beauty. War is a bad thing. we should not speak about war. War is not a bad thing. War is a mirror of the time. And when the time says this is the end, this is the end. But in the left liberal, there's no admitting of the truth. There are more like splinters and splitting heads, like those rockets that the Iranians are sending. So it's not enough that there is like left-leaning. There's also gender, and it's not enough that there are genders. They're splitting genders, and children at the age of 8, they have to go through a procedure, yes, to change their gender. This is not normal. This is abnormal. This is completely crazy. And it is being stopped now because the war with Iran is not just against Iran and its proxies, is more a mental war when people let their guards fall asleep under tones of lies of acceptance. Acceptance, you have to contain the other, even the other calling to exterminate you. Yes? This should not be the case. There was a child, a Palestinian, yes, in Berlin, and she was like getting wild, and I asked her, why are you getting wild? And she said that she would like the Germans to leave Germany, and she would like to live in Germany as a resident because this is her place. When people are telling you lies, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, telling you lies and repeating these lies again and again until people of the place do not feel like it's their home. People who come from area in the Middle East, they settle in Germany and they tell the Germans to go home, and this is their state, that Germany is their state. They also tells that Afghani sits in England, in Britain, and they say that there are no British at home, and this is their home. So where it's going to lead? Where it's going to lead all of this? So the war with Iran is not just against those rockets. It's basically something which encompasses the general consciousness of the Western world. And now it comes to an end. There is a border. White is white and black is black. Truth is truth and lie is a lie. And you can say words, because in certain places the language is being washed. You should not say this, you should not say that because it offends someone. So what about the truth? This is a great war, and we are proud of it, and we are proud to lead the world into the right direction. Yes, the truth, offends someone. So they can offend and cry in the corner, and then they can wash their face and return and drink coffee with others. They can be offended in the corner. We're living in great times. There is open horizons for education, unlimited education. There is an access to literature, to resources, to art, to science that was never before. And what people are choosing to do, to get lunatic about gender politics, about medical procedures for children at the age of 8 to change their gender. What? And this is the end. This is just the end. We're living in great times. Weinreb says in his book that, and we can see this kind of thinking also in other cultures. There is a plan to the world. There is a way. There is a way for nature. There is a way for life. And when people are somehow, and we can see this through the first book of Moses, through Genesis, because every few generations people think that they have the hang of it, that they can control life. We saw in the generation of the flood, we saw in the generation of the Tower of Babel, we saw the generation of Sodom and Gomorrah, we saw the last generation in Pharaohs. Yes, there is a sense of every few generations that I'm controlling life. I'm the master of life. I control the world with my agenda and so on. But this does not stand. It just breaks, it melts, because this is the blueprint. The world is not working on lies. Life do not sustain lies. It's very simple. And this is what we see now. And this is a war which is opening people's mind and heart to a better future. Remove the mud from your glasses. You're not see very well. So the tree, the plot that Iran prepared to hang the world and humanity on it, now Iran is being hanged on the same tree that she prepared for us. It's very clear. We have a lot of patience. We're sitting in bunkers. We're sitting in protected area. We take steps. Each time we leave the house for 50 meters, like in Corona times, if you ask us how does it feel like, it's like Corona times, 50 meters to the left, 50 meters to the right, and immediately return home. But we understand that if, as a public, we do not stand against evil, against cruelty, against lies and deception, no one will stand. So we are sitting here, 10 million people in Israel, in bunkers, but all the area, 500 million people are under this threat in this area, immediate threat of missiles, an attack of drones, an attack of ballistic missiles, an attack of airports, an attack of civilian life, and tourists that are caught in the Gulf. So the threat is bigger. The whole population of Europe is 500 million. People who are sitting here are under this threat every moment of their lives. And not just here. They have proxies all over the world. There are finances, great universities, the best Western universities. They have full control over them. They have control of social media and so. This war is such a beautiful, beautiful way of life to tell us there's justice, there is truth, and there is honesty. So, dear friends, thank you so much for joining us today to a bit of a little conversation between those great days. תודה, שבוע טוב, and see you soon. להתראות.